welcome to Drinks on the House. My name is Zach Kowalski. Joining me as always, the pride of Pinckney, Kevin Alice.
I'm Kevin Alice, and I'm still recovering from how sweaty I was working out before recording this.
Sexy.
Mental image for everyone.
Yeah. Thanks for that, Kevin.
You're welcome. You're welcome, 30 minutes.
Well, yeah. Ouch. You know what? Fair enough. I'll keep my ass shut.
Also joining us, slightly late, the glue that holds this whole thing together, Andrew Hamill.
Hi, guys. 1,000 apologies again.
I really don't care, honestly.
I'm here now. Yeah. Well,
I'm survive.
Yeah.
The glue that holds this whole thing together, or slowly rips it apart.
Slowly dragging everyone down with them. It's Andy.
Like a sticky band-aid.
Yeah.
I'll be your guys as a rock, and I'll slowly weigh you down for the rest of your lives.
Yeah. I'm less of the glue that keeps us together, and rather the millstone tied around all of your necks. So.
But we love you.
Yeah.
And finally, he is the producer / seducer, super producer Josh.
How's it going?
Just dandy.
Okay. Was that unnatural?
Oh, it's gonna be a fun one.
Okay.
Got that Austrian fever right now.
Yeah.
Congrats, guys. We made it 2 minutes in before somebody made an Arnold impression.
You're tardy to the party, Victor.
All right, before we delve into that fun stuff, Kevin, you want to introduce us to our first and always first segment?
Always first. Our perennial first segment. Am I using the word right? I don't know.
Sure.
Nor do I care. Here we go. It's our Week in Nerd. And I'll start as usual. I got to revisit my childhood this weekend by playing ukulele, which is basically just Banjo-Kazooie 2 or 3. It's amazing. It's everything I wanted out of it.
I can't wait to play that game. I know it's gonna take a long time for it to come out on the Switch, but I can't afford it.
Is it?
Yeah. I mean, probably close to summer. It's still a long time for me. I beat Zelda, I'm waiting on my hands.
Yeah, you just have an expensive Zelda machine right now.
Yes.
You could get Shovel Knight. I think that's coming to the Switch.
I beat it on
That's a fun
3DS
game.
A couple of years ago. I beat Blaster Master
Yeah, but
Zero.
they're giving new edition.
Oh, yeah, DLC, that shovel content.
Maybe it's
Shovel that content.
yeah.
Shovel that content.
But yeah, ukulele was amazing. It just feels like those guys left the Rare studio, and then like they already had Banjo 3 made. They just had to go through the process of doing all the characters in different ways so that they couldn't get sued. Like they have the same sound. Like it's still the rah, 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 rah. The whole time. That's all they say.
I love that the things that you have to collect instead of jiggies, they're missing pages of a book, and they're called pages.
Pages.
Yeah.
Pages.
Wow.
and instead of collecting notes, you collect quills.
Yeah.
So they just didn't even try.
Well, no, they tried. It's a
No
really good
need.
game. They didn't even try to hide that it was a Banjo clone. Yes, that's what you're
that's
getting
what I
at.
mean.
I don't even know if it's a clone because it's the same people who made Banjo-Kazooie. They're just in a different studio now.
Yeah.
Because or they left Rare.
I guess technically you can't rip yourself off.
Yeah.
Right. They're just making it legally distinct from Banjo-Kazooie.
Well, I mean, you can say you can't rip yourself off, but like John Fogerty of Creedence Clearwater Revival was once sued by John Fogerty for plagiarizing himself. So
What?
Really?
that's a thing that happened. Yeah.
Can you explain that?
I believe another record company owned his copyrighted material from like the past.
Mhm.
So he wrote a song that was similar to an older Creedence Clearwater Revival because 90% of those songs sound exactly the fucking same. So they actually took him to court. So it was basically Fogerty versus Fogerty. Yeah.
Back to the topic at hand, I suppose.
I mean, you know where those people from
but yeah.
from Rare woare would be if they kept doing the same thing. They'd be rolling on the river.
Yeah. Bastards.
It's going to be a bad moon rising at Rare.
Yeah. You're gonna have to have him run through the jungle. I also I'm playing The Last of Us for the first time in my life after putting it off forever because it was on sale for a flash sale for like $7 last weekend.
Nice.
And
what is The Last of Us?
The Last of Us is like a post-apocalyptic zombie game, but it is it's done in a way that it has emotional storytelling as opposed to just rah 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 zombies.
But yeah, it's the same team that made Uncharted.
Yeah, it's Naughty Dog. The story hit me in the emotions 30 minutes in.
Yep. the opening scene,
30.
I assume you're talking about.
But yeah, the opening sequence before the 20 years later. That was definitely it. I guess we won't spoil it even though it's 7, 8 years old. You know what? I'm just going to say it. His daughter dies in the first 30 minutes.
Yeah. That's very much.
And you have to watch her die in his arms.
Does she die of zombies? Or
She dies
is it
of being
like
shot
an
by another-
unrelated?
Did she die of zombies?
She did not die of zombies. She died of being shot.
She had type 2 zombies and passed.
Type of
Zombie
Zombies.
simplex 2.
Gotta get the vaccine for the T virus. So yeah, I've started playing that, and it's been very enjoyable so far. Played all the way through Danganronpa. That was amazing.
Datgum
Been
Rampa.
playing Danganronpa 2 now. It's just an island murder mystery, and it's okay. So Danganronpa is all of a high school essentially gets into a murder mystery, where the murderers are each other.
But you left out the fact that it's extremely Japanese.
Well, yeah, it's a visual novel, so by definition, it basically is.
Yeah, I've
But
always heard good things about those games. I have no idea what the fuck they're about.
Incredible. I could not recommend it more.
Yeah, you'd really like it.
Especially as an intro to a visual novel, because it lets you move around and stuff as opposed to other visual novels, which is basically just reading.
Actually, the first one I ever played was you could move around in a room, but it was very, very simple. It was Radical Dreamers, which was that
Yeah,
game
kinda.
in between Chrono Trigger and Chrono Cross.
Oh, yeah.
It was like only for the Satellaview, so I had to get a ROM and. But yeah.
I mean, acquired
Goddamn.
totally legally.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's such an obscure fucking game. It was only available in the 1990s in Japan for an exclusive add-on that only lasted for like 2 years that you actually had to download from a satellite to play, and it had Japanese voiceovers. So it's like, of course, I'm gonna play it on a ROM in the 2000s if I'm ever gonna play it at all. So, but that actually had movement where you can make decisions and do things instead of just talking to somebody and making friendships or whatever you do in visual novels.
Right. Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I usually like the horror visual novels or ones where I'm actually making consequential decisions.
Not
pretty
playing
recent.
those dating sims. There's one where you can like date a pigeon.
Yeah, Hatoful boyfriend.
Yeah.
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 where your mates are pigeons.
Yeah, of course.
Just want to throw that out there that is a thing.
That is
the
a
Japanese are perfect people.
thing. But yeah, that's basically what I've been playing. That's been my weeks.
I've been sick for the past 2 weeks, so I've been couch-ridden. Been watching a lot of TV. Watched the new season of Grace and Frankie, which is on Netflix.
Excellent.
Really funny. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if anybody else has watched it.
Yeah. No, I watched the first 3 seasons and it's really funny.
Yeah.
It's unexpectedly funny, I feel like, for people that aren't in their 70s, but really funny. Really, really funny.
Yeah, so the basic plot is there's these 2 married couples, and the husbands work at a law firm, and eventually they fall in love and form a gay relationship and leave their wives in their like 60s or 70s.
Wow.
So the whole series is about dealing with that. And then
That's
the 2 wives
crazy.
become best friends.
Is that the Netflix show?
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. All right. I have looked at that. It looked
It's
interesting.
very good.
No.
I recommend it.
I've never heard of that. That sounds awesome.
Yeah, and
I just finished 13 Reasons Why, so I need something to watch.
I like that a lot too. 13
did
Reasons
too.
Why. Yeah. That was surprisingly very good.
Mm-hmm.
But the Grace and Frankie that Zach's talking about has like a stellar cast where it's like the two male leads are Martin Sheen and Sam Waterston, and then it's Lily Tomlinson and oh my God, why am I forgetting her name? Jane Fonda.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. So they're the two couples, and then the first episode starts where Martin Sheen and Sam Waterston take them to dinner and then tell them that they're each divorcing them and that they're gay and they're getting married. So it, like within the first 5 minutes that all and then
Stunning.
Yeah. and then a really good supporting cast as well. So
Yeah, a lot of comedians.
June Diane Raphael of How Did This Get Made fame and a bunch of other, like 1,000 other things.
And being married to Paul Scheer.
Yeah. Yeah. No offense to Paul Scheer.
I mean, yeah. It's a funny, nice man from what I've heard. And I also just found out that I have every Simpsons episode on demand on my Xfinity.
Oh, you bastard.
Yeah, it's been amazing. And then last week, last podcast on the left, just an episode about Chris Benoit. That was really fascinating.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I sent you guys the link, but I don't know if any of you listened to it.
I did.
I didn't see it.
Yeah. But yeah, super fascinating. Kind of delving into the situation and pro wrestling, head injuries, and things like that. So it's worth a listen if you're into pro wrestling or murder.
One or the other.
Double murder, suicide.
One or the other.
You know.
Yeah.
So that's been my Weeks in Nerd.
I haven't done much. I went movie shopping the other day. I was out looking for horror movies, but I came back with a bunch of 90s classics, apparently. I picked up Josie and the Pussycats, a physical copy of Kindergarten Cop. I have 2 copies now because I believe my DVD version will crap out eventually, of Can't Hardly Wait. Somehow I found a copy of Elf on VHS, which was really weird.
They put that out on VHS?
I know, right? It's like I actually have a VHS copy of Kill Bill as well, and I was like, why? What? I don't know. They must have just decided it, like 2006 or 7. Like, okay, all right, we're finally gonna stop. And like, no more VHS. And like, oh no, just a couple more, okay? Just a couple more, man.
Just a few more.
Somebody needs.
I can stop whenever I want.
So that was kind of a rare find, and another really weird rare find was this promotional Mortal Kombat video where right as the first movie was coming out, they also included this animated movie which kind of explains the beginning of it. It's like where they get on the boat to go to the Netherworld and go to Mortal Kombat, but it's like terrible animation. And in the very end, basically, just to let you know, it has nothing to do with the animated show. It's just like it's complete. It's like its own weird anomaly. And then at the very end of that VHS, there is another really terrible animated fight scene. Like, pretty much came out a year after Reboot, but pretty much looks like the Dire Straits video for Money for Nothing.
Oh wow!
Yeah, and
that's unbelievable.
I remember reading about this because I was like, I heard something about a Mortal Kombat 3 movie coming out and them actually trying to take it seriously and try to pick it back up and dust it off and be like, all right, we're gonna do the big budget version of this now. And anyways, I saw that and I was like, wow, I can't believe this. I gotta get it. And anyway, so that's been my week.
I have fucking nothing. Like the most media that I've consumed over the past couple weeks it's like handful of fucking Schwarzenegger movies that I watch, and I don't have the audacity to recommend fucking Sabotage to anyone. So I don't know.
Well, we'll get into that.
Yeah, but more to come on that shit fest. But I listened to the new Kendrick Lamar album Damn once, and that's pretty awesome on the first listen, but I haven't listened to it enough to give any sort of insightful feedback, but I feel like picking that album's kind of low-hanging fruit right now because the internet is just coming in their pants about it all the time. So
I feel like they've come so hard that it's just blasted out of their pants.
Yeah.
That's that bad.
Put a hole in your
It broke
dungarees.
the zipper on the
I
internet.
I can't open Twitter, Facebook, or Instagram without seeing a goddamn picture of Kendrick Lamar's album.
Yeah. Which, I mean, it's sweet, but I guess I'll maybe more to come on that next week. We'll see. But yeah, that's all I got. It was an uneventful week in nerd for me.
I'm sorry. Hopefully you find the right amount of media next week and some car insurance. And
Yeah. No, I'm just gonna talk about MetLife next week. Have you guys bundled your home and renter's insurance? It's pretty crazy.
I was working in a grocery store like many, many years ago, and then I had all this shit I had to do. I was really, really busy. I was working in this department by myself, and my boss pulls me aside and he's like, "Hey, I've got this guy. He's got to talk to you." I was like, "What is it?" He's like, "This guy over here. Like, he's got to talk to you about insurance." I was like, "Oh my god, health insurance? That's amazing. I'll talk to you." And he's just like,
Silly.
yeah, and like he hands me this pamphlet that has like a huge volcano on it, and a house like crumbling, and I'm like, "What is this?"
Jesus Christ.
And I look at my boss and he's like, "Oh, this guy sells volcano insurance." I was just like, "Can I get back to fucking work now?" And just like walk out.
That's a literal Family Guy episode.
Is it really?
Yeah,
It is.
No.
Peter buys volcano insurance.
No, this guy
Yes,
literally
that
tried to
happened
sell
on
me
Family Guy.
volcano insurance. I could not fucking believe it.
I mean, we do live next to a volcano, but
Yeah, that's true.
still.
Is it active technically? Is it an active
it's-
volcano or is it?
Like, we live in a fault line. We're not on the fault line, but like really close to it, and it's been like rumbling and acting like it's gonna act up, and everyone's been talking about earthquakes and shit. So it's like one of those things where it's like becoming active again, and that
Jesus Christ.
me and Zach and two other people are probably gonna have to go find the 4 treasures of the elements to quell it.
No.
I call
Or
it.
you guys could have bought some fucking volcano insurance. It's
You mean the
I know.
missed
four
out on that.
cruxes?
I know, and then I could
Four
still be stocking fucking avocados right now. You know, our lives could have been much different if I had just made that one right decision.
Yeah. my one regret in life, not purchasing volcano insurance.
What could have been.
I do believe the Earth crystal is buried very close by, though. There's an old man that knows a little bit more about it than I do.
Oh, you saw that guy by the dumpster too?
Yeah, he was screaming at himself.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and he was taking a shit.
No.
You know that toilet right behind her, right behind our apartment?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course, the
Yep.
emergency toilet.
Yep.
I wish I had the commitment to look someone in the eye and shit on the street. I feel like I'd have ultimate power over them.
The last time I was in Canada, before I got stopped by the cops for being suspicious of being young and having weed, we drive into like I don't know the cities over there, but like one of the major cities. It looked just like Seattle. Some dude was fucking wiping his ass on like this little tree, like he was taking a shit, and then instead of just kind of like, you know, having something to wipe himself off with, he just like kind of you know,
Like a monkey in the jungle.
yeah, or like a bear, pretty much, like scratching his back and just like wiped his ass on it and just kind of, you know, walked off with his pants around his ankles. And
I feel like I have a lot of questions that'll never be answered about that story.
it's all right. We should talk about Schwarzenegger though, right? Because
Yeah.
that's
Probably
Excellent
talk.
segue.
because that's
Yeah.
a segue.
Now we can talk about metaphorical craps and not literal.
Way to carry us forward.
After that
I kind of want to go
beautiful
back to
segue.
the old man scream shitting in the alley because that's we need to work back to that at some point.
Get out of my alley.
Arnold Schwarzenegger, what are you doing here?
Arnold Schwarzenegger in. Get that shit out of my alley. Get the fuck out of here. Oh, this is everybody's alley. Get back to the toilet. It smells.
Cut all this.
Seriously.
we've got a real drive time morning zoo kind of vibe going on right now with a lot of character work going on.
Yep.
Oh my god. So yeah, Arnold Schwarzenegger, huh?
So our main topic today is Arnold Schwarzenegger movies, and kind of like an actor franchise look back. But we're gonna do it in a style where we don't go through the history, where we go through every movie, because that got really tiresome in our history episodes. So I decided to go the route of the other way that we did franchise, which was Happy Madison. And I took the same kind of formula to look at Arnold Schwarzenegger's movies. So by doing this, I had to figure out, I had to figure out which ones were making the most money and were rated the highest by Rotten Tomato percent, because Metacritic didn't go far enough back for Metacritic score. Kind of put together how much money they made to see how successful they were in that kind of sense. And I also did that with the bottom 5. Now, in knowing this, each of us got one of the bottom 5 and top 5 to watch since our last podcast. And some of us were more thrilled than others.
To say the least.
Say the least. Do we want to start bottom or top, boys?
Let's start from the bottom.
Start
From the bottom. Now
bottom.
we're up here. Start from the bottom. Now I'm talking about Schwarzenegger.
It's really what that song's about.
Yeah.
That's really what it is. All right. So our first one up then is Sir Josh, because you had Red Sonja, correct?
Red Sonja, indeed. So I didn't do much research. I just watched it. I watched it on like a stream online. I don't own it. I watched it years ago. Didn't think much of it. It's one of those things that like kind of just comes on TV and you're like, find something to do while you ignore it. And honestly, my first impression was, this is really stupid. Why would anybody fucking watch this? The acting is terrible. The action scenes are really hokey. But then halfway through the movie, I actually started to really enjoy it. There are some characters that I actually really liked. So to start things off, you don't really see Arnold Schwarzenegger in it too much. He's supposed to be based off of Conan the Barbarian, but for some reason, due to, I think, licensing issues, they had to use an alternative name, sort of like a nickname that they use for him in like comics or something. So he's not called Conan, he's called something else. I don't remember. I didn't do the research. But Red Sonja is Red Sonja, played by Brigitte Nielsen. She's actually very badass in this movie. Like, she's got some moves. She's got a lot of fucking attitude, despite just sounding wooden as a plank. She is got a lot of heart behind this. And they meet some goofy characters along the way.
Was it before or after Rocky 4?
I don't know, honestly.
I don't think so.
I
don't think so.
It's got to be after one of her first roles. It could have been after Rocky 4. It could have been after Beverly Hills Cop 2. I don't know. But somewhere around that area where, you know, she was already kind of established in some capacity. Otherwise, they wouldn't have put her in a lead role. So anyways, the whole movie had sort of like a poor production value to it. But Arnold Schwarzenegger and Brigitte Nielsen's chemistry was actually pretty enjoyable. There were moments where he's like trying to get into her pants and she's like, oh, you gotta fight me, you know, and there's a scene where they fight for like literally like a whole day, and some of the people that they picked up on their journey are just like watching and yawning, and they're like, oh my god, they're still at this. And I thought that was kind of funny because they actually did have an affair during the making of this movie. Knowing that, it was humorous to me. Overall, it's a pretty forgettable movie. I didn't hate it, but I'd say you could watch many other bad movies before this one. So
wouldn't recommend it.
Wouldn't recommend it, but if it's on and you're actually paying attention, some parts are okay, like passable even. But if you're looking for something really bad to watch, it's also not on like my radar at all. Because like there's some movies I watch that are like really, really bad, and they're almost so bad that they're good again. And this movie falls in like the nether realm of that, where it's just forgettable. So
It's not like campy bad fun.
no, not really.
Yeah.
Ugh. That's the worst kind of bad movie where I don't like bad movies that don't understand that they're bad movies.
Yeah.
Because those are the ones that you, like, they can really look at themselves and go, all right, how cheesy can we make this? And that can sometimes get you kind of enjoyment on that front. Fun fact, that was the only movie on the bottom 5 that actually lost money. Or, sorry, made money. Yeah, so Arnold Schwarzenegger, if he's main starred in a movie, has only lost money 4 times.
Impressive.
So
That's very impressive.
That is impressive, yeah. Arnold Schwarzenegger is an impressive draw to the movies, if nothing else.
And it probably made more money because of Conan's original turnout, because that was supposed to be a pretty big movie. And
Yeah,
this is probably riding out the
We'll,
coattails. of
we'll get to that one later because that's the one movie that none of us picked on the top 5.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Both of the Conan movies made quite a considerable amount of money. Yeah, Red
I
Sonja
believe
made
it.
money probably off of that hype.
Yeah.
That makes sense to me.
Yeah.
Anyway, moving on to number 4 would be mine, and that's Collateral Damage, where
It sounds like the name speaks for itself.
Yeah.
kind
An
of
apt name.
I have some moments from the movie that I'll talk about, and anyway, I'll give you the plot synopsis real quick. Is Arnold Schwarzenegger plays I believe he's a firefighter, and his wife and son are killed in the collateral damage of a terrorist attack.
I don't know why I'm laughing.
Because you knew where it was going.
Yeah.
Then this firefighter decides to go down to the Columbia to find out where the killer is and hunt him.
Naturally.
All the while just going up against the FBI because the FBI won't find his killer. It's the dumbest thing. Like, the premise is so bad. It's like, why would a firefighter do that? There's no way. Police officer, maybe. Firefighter, nah.
Really want to branch out
anyway.
the roles.
He walked into an FBI office, yelled, "How's this for collateral damage?" and starts smashing everything. And while he was smashing it the whole time, all I could think was, sweet use of the title, bro. They used the title like 3 times during the movie. Just yelling collateral damage. The effects looked like it was made in the 90s and it was made in the early 2000s. Like, you could tell it was green screened or dummied into water. Whenever he went into water, it was the worst experience ever. The cherry on top of all of it is who they picked for the comic relief, which was the comedic magician, John Leguizamo, who continues to get work despite my best knowledge. When he's in his like stuttering comedic role,
Yeah.
that's the worst of the John Leguizamo. Literally, they cast him in this one as the comic relief, and he was an aspiring rapper, so he had to rap on screen.
Oh.
And I
Okay.
died inside.
I feel like that's not his fault.
It wasn't,
I'm gonna give him a
It
pass.
wasn't. But
he
it
was
did
an
not go well.
aspiring rapper. He was probably like fucking 40 years old when they made that movie too. Oh, I'm really starting to kickstart the old
he
career
was
now.
38 when that movie was made.
Jesus
Yeesh.
Christ, yeah.
You're never too old, Andy.
I'm 38, but I can play a great 35. Oh, okay.
Another
Excellent. Yeah.
part of this that was just kind of was the twist, so to speak, that people definitely didn't see from a mile away. The woman that he meets early in the movie that he is connecting with because it reminds him of how his wife and son were killed. She had a son with her when there was a bomb going off at some point, so he saved her. Turns out she was the terrorist. So
Dun dun dun.
Yeah, sounds awful.
he definitely wasn't suspicious from the very beginning. Yeah, it was just way too tropey, and the writing wasn't there to support it. There wasn't enough production value to it. It didn't look like it cost $85 million. It looked like it cost 40. It just was not good.
Do you think that was like Arnold's like snakes on a plane kind of moment? Like he was like reading that script and he's like, oh, this is a real snappy title and I can work it into a line. So I see this going somewhere.
Maybe.
I could see that.
No, just me. Okay.
He had a lot of one-liners in this movie. Like I think they cast him simply to deliver one-liners. Like it wasn't even like cheesy good one-liners. It was just like super not good at all.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's how you survive as an actor in a bad movie. Is one line at a time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God damn.
One bad punchline at a time.
Also,
Yeah. But why?
in the cat was also Jane Lynch. I did not see it coming.
Yeah.
Jane Lynch was also in this movie. She was killed.
Good.
After the bathroom.
Jesus.
It sound like we're at her wake. Jane Lynch was in this movie. She was killed in this movie. Let us remember her fondly.
Jane Lynch of Collateral Damage fame. That's gonna be her credit.
It'll be
It's on the
it'll be
tombstone.
Yeah,
engraved on her tombstone.
On her tombstone, collaterally damaged.
Damage in a collateral capacity.
Those are actually like
Yeah,
the missing lyrics to the Germ song when he's talking about like beer and damage. He's like, all I want is beer and collateral damage.
Or- Darby Crash predicted Arnold Schwarzenegger's future career.
He predicted Jane Lynch's fate, and now they're buried next to each other as
My God.
damaged
Jane
soulmates.
Lynch is still very much alive at this moment.
She hosts a game show.
Yeah.
Well, it's on their album Circle 2. You probably haven't heard it yet. Germ's joke. Sorry. Sorry.
I gotta
The
chuckle
one
at it.
after Darby killed himself.
Yeah, it's because they made Circle 1, right? And then Circle
Yeah.
2 is his posthumous album about Jane Lynch.
Didn't they? This is goddamn it. Going off in a separate direction though. I thought that the Germs they toured for a while in the 2000s
Yeah.
with a different lead singer, and I wasn't sure if they actually made a second album with him.
I don't think they
But-
did, but interestingly enough, the guy that funded and starred as Darby Crash was the lead singer of the revival of that band.
No.
And apparently,
And
like,
that
they did
guy-
a really good job, so...
I was gonna say it's like if they made Val Kilmer the lead singer of the Doors.
No.
Well, there's a whole movie, like, right there to, like, that's like an hour and a half of, like, reasons why that shouldn't ever happen.
No.
You're not wrong.
No.
Sorry, Andy, you were saying something.
No, this is gonna get cut because it's so boring. But it was the guy that was the lead singer of the Germs revival band was the actor named Shane West, who's most famous for starring in the late '90s, 2000s teen drama A Walk to Remember.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
Huh.
Well, apparently he was such a big fan of the Germs that he actually, like, funded this movie. Or
Which is-
What We Do Is Secret, the biopic.
Which is so fucking weird.
It really,
Yeah.
really is.
Yeah. Arnold Schwarzenegger is not in that film either.
Wouldn't that be funny if they, like, cast, like, Arnold Schwarzenegger in...
That's just a really big Germs
Arnold
fan.
Schwarzenegger is Pat Smear.
Yeah,
Man.
Oh
I
God.
don't know how to play this. It's got too many chords. Shut up, Arnie.
Collateral Damage. I would not recommend Collateral Damage unless you want to be Collateral Damage in this fucking film. By the way, just none whatsoever. Unless you want Arnold to come in and start beating you and yelling Collateral Damage, and then like
I mean-
looking at an invisible camera,
That sounds kind of fun.
like wink, wink, you fucking got it.
So it only gets, like, 1 Jane Lynch out of 10?
Half a Lynch.
Half a
Lynch.
Lynch.
Half a Jane Lynch. For the half that her neck isn't already snapped. Number 3 is Running Man, which Zach had.
Oh, did I ever? So I'd never seen Running Man before, and it is set in a dystopian future of 2017, where, unlike anything there's today, there's a whole economic collapse, and the most popular thing in the world is a TV show called The Running Man, where runners hunt down criminals, or I think it's criminals exclusively, in an elaborate game show and kill them, and people bet on it. So Arnold Schwarzenegger plays a disgraced cop, blamed for a massacre, escapes from jail. I don't really remember how he gets on the show. Doesn't matter. But he gets put on the show. The host, by the way, is Richard Dawkins of Family Feud and Hogan's Heroes fame.
Oh, Richard Dawson.
Dawson, did I say Dawkins?
Yeah.
That would have been a more interesting movie. God does not exist. Kill everyone. So, actually, fun fact I learned. It's actually based on a novel by Richard Bachman. And if you don't know that name, you should. That's actually Stephen King's pseudonym. So this is based on a Stephen King novel.
What?
Yeah.
That's weird.
Right?
Did not know that.
But point being, Arnold goes through the entire game show, killing the runners, who all have characters. And there's a buzzsaw guy who runs around with a chainsaw. There's an electric guy that runs around in a little go-kart. And his costume is, like, plastic. He's a big fat dude in a Lycra bodysuit with plastic armor over it and, like, wrapped in Christmas lights. So it's... I can't describe to you just how 80s this movie was.
I'm getting that
from
feeling.
The soundtrack and the aesthetics and effects, but it was a fucking fun movie. I loved it. I even watched it twice.
Hell yeah, brother.
So the first time I watched it, totally sober, did my research, and then I got really high.
Like the movie fucked you up.
And it was amazing. It was one of the best times I've had watching a movie in a long time. Can't recommend it enough. Go watch it. Get stoned or get fucked up. Not a requirement, but it helps.
Get fucked up out the first viewing, and then while you still have that Running Man high, watch it again.
No.
And then, weird fun fact. I was doing research for it today, and I found an article from the BBC for the 30th anniversary, which is 2017. And it states, quote, "The film made an accurate prediction about life in 2017, such as economic collapse and the American culture of television." So Running Man predicted 2017,
Amazing.
according to the BBC.
Swish.
But yeah,
Way to
it's
go,
fun.
Arnie.
Like I said, super 80s. You know, Arnold gets the girl at the end. You know, the one he kidnapped.
Kills a fat man covered in Christmas lights.
Yeah, of course.
All the usual 80s shenanigans.
Of
Yeah.
course. Yeah.
Typical.
He ends up killing Dawson. So to get into the Running Man arena, you put you in a rocket sled and then shoot you into the arena. So at the end of the movie.
You are not
Oh,
allowed
that's
to
80s
leave
as
the
fuck.
arena. You are ejected.
No, yeah, they put you in like a rocket sled. Like a big thing that like goes over you. It's a big like roll cage. And it just shoots you, and it's a good like 2-minute sequence of like, you know, face pulling back and lights and shit.
Is that how he landed the role for Jingle All the Way?
Yeah.
He was like carrying like the dead man's Christmas lights and riding on a sled. He's like, this movie's fucking awesome.
This gives me an idea. But yeah, can't recommend it enough. Watch Running Man. I loved it much more than the good movie I watched. We'll get into that later.
Fucking.
We'll get there. The second one no one had because there isn't 5 of us. There's only 4 of us.
Womp, womp, womp.
Womp womp. No one took Red Heat, which was a buddy cop movie between Schwarzenegger and Belushi.
Oh, man, that does sound
boy.
kind of fun. Wait, which Belushi?
Jim Belushi, I'm feeling.
I believe it's Jim. I
the
might
bad
be
one.
wrong.
Yeah,
Well, yeah, John
Let me
Belushi was dead
look
by
it
then.
up really quickly.
yeah. I think
I know it's
John was
Sorry, what movie
Yeah,
were we
I think-
talking about?
yeah.
I had to
Red
say-
Heat.
Red Heat,
The
which
fuck
is
is Red Heat?
apparently it's a buddy cop movie between Schwarzenegger and a Belushi.
Like James
We're trying to
Belushi?
figure out which one.
It's
Yeah,
to
it's,
figure out
it's,
what
I
Is he
think
was in
John was
It
cold
is
by the
James
time that this one.
Belushi.
Yeah.
It was who?
Yeah.
James Belushi.
Well, he was also in Jingle All the Way with
Oh
Arnold
yeah.
Schwarzenegger. It's probably James Belushi.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
Oh God, those two are friends.
Arnold Schwarzenegger's worst movies all starred James Belushi.
No surprise there.
I mean, yeah.
Jingle All the Way, Last Action Hero,
Oof.
and Red Heat. all involved Sir Jim Belushi. But yeah, I don't have much have any research with it. But
I've got nothing else to say.
Yeah.
yeah, they cast the wrong Belushi.
Well, I think
He's in the corpse.
They should have just resurrected the other one.
I was gonna say that they should have Weekend at Bernie's John Belushi's dead body into a buddy cop movie.
I'd watch it.
Yeah.
That was so much worse than what I was gonna say. I was gonna say two word fucking review. Shit heat.
Boom. Let's move on.
And that brings us to the shittiest movie that he has ever made, that Andy had.
Yeah.
It is Sabotage.
The dubious honor of.
Yeah.
It's also one of his most recent starring roles.
Ooh.
Yeah, it was made in 2014, and it was just really boring. Like that, it was. I mean, it was poorly written and acted, but like the worst part about it was that it was so fucking boring, and it was a really convoluted story. So Arnold Schwarzenegger is the leader of a DEA special operatives team, and his nickname is Breacher. Like, everyone on this fucking team has nicknames for some reason. They're doing a raid on a cartel's drug house, and they break up the house, and there's $10 million in cash there, and they've developed a plot where they're going to steal this $10 million, and they hide it in a sewer system, and one of the guys ends up dying that's on the team, but they end up going down to the sewer to try and find this $10 million later, and it's gone. And for some reason, there's a then weird 20-minute break in the film where all of the people on the team, including Arnold Schwarzenegger, are under some sort of internal investigation for the missing $10 million. And that just goes nowhere. They all end up being acquitted. And then it then comes back to them all working together. But slowly, all the members of this team start dying. Like, one guy he's living in a fucking mobile home, and it gets dragged onto a train track, and he gets hit by a fucking train before he can get out of his mobile home. Then, so all of these people start getting picked off, and then I don't even want to go through with the rest of the story. It's just stupid.
Is it wrong to assume that that's the way Kid Rock's gonna die?
I hope he does. Like, that's some like gold-plated fucking shit mobile home. Yeah.
So when
Double
you're doing
wide,
your
just
plot
getting
recap-
cranked by a train, by like the one active train in the state of Michigan.
So when you're doing your plot recap, Andy, all I could
Yeah.
think right up until people dying was this sounds like Goonies with Arnold Schwarzenegger.
No, it's like it's
a good point.
It's so uninteresting though. Goonies was great. Goonies was amazing. This was just like it was so hard to stay interested in it. And part of it may have been is that I had to watch it on 3 different YouTube rips that were available online. One of them was really good quality, and I got about probably 3/4 of the movie in with that, and then was forced to use the other 2 because I couldn't find that one again. So, but it all ends up, so I'll try and finish this real quick. So all these people start getting picked off, and then there's an outside cop that's investigating this whole situation. It comes to light that for some reason or another, Arnold Schwarzenegger's family was captured by a drug cartel at one point, and his wife and child were brutally murdered. He was then sent a video of the murder along with the limbs of his child and wife.
That was
And,
necessary.
Yeah, so that's just dropped in the middle of the film and doesn't make any goddamn sense at that point. But then it then is revealed that there's 2 members of the team that he's a part of that have been killing all the other people on the team. So him and then this detective then track these 2 people down. One of them who's Terrence Howard, gets killed in a car accident, but the other one is alive in the trunk of this car, and she's confessing to killing everyone. And then she reveals that she killed these people because they stole her money. But then Arnold Schwarzenegger reveals in his dumb voice that he was the one that actually stole the $10 million. And making less sense than everything else in the film is he took $10 million and spent it to track down he paid one crooked cop to track him down, the guy that murdered his family in like fucking Guatemala or something. Like something that would have not taken $10 million. Like not nearly $10 million. But so he spends it on that, and then the last scene of the movie is him dressed as a fucking cowboy, and obviously Mexican in a South American country is this fucking 6-foot Austrian guy, and but then he murders this guy who's doing cocaine in the bathroom, and then comes out and murders everyone else in the bar, then does a shot and lights a cigar, and then the movie ends.
So it turns into Desperado at the end?
I'm
pretty sure that is how El Mariachi starts.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
it was so bad. Like I was so frustrated by the end of it because, oh god,
That sounds so terrible. Like it should have been like a
Yeah.
Steven Seagal movie or something.
That's what it sounds like.
No,
Yeah.
but it wasn't. No, but it was like a Seagal movie, but minus everything that's unintentionally good about a Seagal movie.
Yeah.
Like it was everyone's
fun.
trying to act seriously. Like I think Schwarzenegger thought that this was going to be his Sicario. Like I think he believed that this was going to be Sicario before Sicario happened, and it wasn't. Like it wasn't. It was just like a really just heavy-handed, slow-moving, convoluted, stupid action movie. And it was like all of his good movies where he leans into how stupid the characters are, or that there are these humorous elements to it. They don't do that at all in this movie. And it's supposed to be like kind of like dark and gritty, and it wasn't. It was
Sounds
It
awful.
was just stupid.
That's really not
Yeah.
where Schwarzenegger shines in dark and gritty. Like
No.
roles where he has to really character work through.
Yeah.
It makes me think of like his role in End of Days, where he has to be kind of like a serious kind of character. And it's really unbelievable and just kind of, shows throughout the entire movie.
Yeah. No, and that's probably the most depressing part, is that by the end of this film, one of the main realizations that I had was he's been acting for like 40 years, and he has not at all gotten better at his craft. Like he may have gotten worse. Like it was hard to watch.
Arnold Schwarzenegger is like a brand. It's like people will buy it if there's a stamp on it that says Arnold Schwarzenegger. It doesn't matter what
Apparently
it is.
not sabotaged.
That's why athletes are sponsored by like sports drinks, is because that shit makes money. So,
Yeah.
You're not
But
wrong
this
with
was
that.
like, but this was like a really inexpensive movie to make. Like it only cost them $15 million or something, and it did not gross $15 million.
Yeah.
It only made back 13 and a half, or excuse me, like $14 million. So this was almost like an indie film for Arnold Schwarzenegger compared to like what the average budget is for his films.
Like this is like
And it did not
Schwarzenegger's
pay
like
off.
Clerks.
Yeah.
His
Like,
$15 million clerk.
Yeah.
So this movie cost $35 million.
Oh, that's how much.
Just to
it
chime
was.
in real
Okay.
quick. It made half of that.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Which is, I don't know why I,
think
thought it
it
was way
might
cheaper
also
than
be
that.
Arnold Schwarzenegger's lowest grossing film, like in general.
I could.
And deservedly.
Yeah. it
I'd
seems
never
that
heard
way.
of this until we started doing this podcast
Yeah,
idea.
me neither. I mean, I don't keep up
I
with a
know
lot
I had
of new
heard of it,
movies.
but I knew I wanted to forget it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Time has forgotten this movie already.
Yeah.
And it's only like 3 years old. Maybe I'll watch it again, and it might have more of a comedic effect on me, but I just kept asking myself, how did this possibly get made? Like, there's...
I feel bad. I'm the only one that had fun with the bad movies.
So I also did the bottom 5 reviewed in general. So I took the making money or losing money completely out of it. And the bottom 5 that were reviewed in general, their lowest percents, 5 was sabotage. It wasn't 1.
That's unbelievable.
Mine was technically worse at 19. Collateral Damage was rated worse than sabotage.
Wait. What was the name of Andy's movie? Because I never even heard that. It was Sabotage? Okay.
Yeah. And the name Sabotage doesn't even make any fucking sense in the scope of the movie either. But
Well, Arnold sabotages them. Kind of.
I guess.
He
I
kills
still
a bunch
think
of
that's-
good people to find out who the bad people were, so that he could be some fucking hit cowboy and be desperado.
But he doesn't even kill him. Someone else kills him.
I don't know.
Yeah, that's
The
what I
movie
mean.
sounds
Trying.
It's so
Really
Doing his
stupid.
best.
I don't know.
The movie should have been called Dumpster because it's a dumpster.
Should have been called
Look out for its sequel, Fire.
homeless
Yeah.
toilet bum screaming at a piece of shit.
Alleyway.
You talking about my movie?
That was his screenplay.
Sabotage was rated at 20% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeesh.
That's-
Collateral Damage was a 19. Our third is Jingle All the Way
I
at
love
17.
Jingle All the Way. Why didn't you review that?
I do love
It
Jingle All
is
the Way.
a bad movie.
Yeah, that's
Enjoyable and
Yeah.
bad movie are two different things.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's a good movie. I'm just saying I love that movie. Put those
Right.
cookies
Yeah.
down.
I enjoyed it when I was growing up, but I can't go back and watch it now. That's usually my indication of when I enjoyed things. Like I don't get attached to that many things, so nostalgia doesn't tend to be a thing with me that often.
Well, you're lucky. Nostalgia
It is.
has ruined relationships and most of the space that I have in my living room.
I can attest to
Fair
this.
enough. Fair enough. I do. I fall prey to it sometimes, but not as often as I see many other people.
The saddest part about Jingle All the Way, I feel, is that I'm pretty sure that was Kevin Hart or not. What I was about to say, Kevin Hartman, Phil Hartman's last appearance on film.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So that's a bummer.
Number 2, with a 15, is Red Sonja. It's his second.
Whoa.
So technically, Josh had the worst movie reviewed.
It wasn't bad. It was boring. Okay, it was pretty bad.
Yes.
And number 1 is End of Days at 11.
Oh my god. I'm glad I brought
That
that up
tracks.
then, because I always thought that was a terrible fucking
That's a
movie.
god awful
So
movie.
let me tell you, boys, it also made $112 million, which is why it
Really?
didn't make it to the bottom.
What?
Yeah,
No.
that was the most interesting thing that I found out. That his
That's
shittiest
like-
movie made like the top 10 grossing amount of money that he has done in his career.
Huh.
Yeah, that's like 112 million in like 1998 money too.
Yeah.
So that's a good hunk.
Was it 1998?
It was like
No,
it was
that was-
late 90s.
Oh yeah, it was late 90s. Yeah, it was late 90s. Yeah, it was late
Yeah.
90s.
That's like the budget for like 100 Red Sonjas.
No.
Let me check the budget on that real quick. Let's see if it checks out.
No.
Probably. It was made in '85, and I'm sure it didn't exactly break the bank.
Yeah.
I'm guessing Red Sonja was probably like closer to like 20 mil, maybe 30.
That sounds about right.
Not even 18.
Maybe 115 million dollars to make that movie.
18.
Well, there was a very technically impressive fight scene with a mechanical alligator in it. So that's probably like 50 million right
kinda
there.
interesting.
You know, yeah.
15.
That's yeah.
Out of $18 million that it cost to make, that mechanical alligator cost 15.
They fought it for like 20 minutes, man. It was like
I mean,
the
if you-
bulk of the movie.
If you're gonna pay that fucking much for a mechanical elevator, not elevator, alligator, you're gonna use it, goddammit.
I didn't
true.
know there was that wasn't mechanical.
The two of them fighting an elevator for 20 minutes. That would-
Now that I'd watch.
Fighting an alligator, fighting it while I'm going down.
So
Mechanical
the two movies that-
alligator, 50 mil on this dumb shit. Going
two movies that just barely missed the
down.
cut of the lowest rated were Terminator Genesis
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I hated that movie.
and what's the other
Everyone
one?
hated that movie.
There's one more. Oh, it was Conan Destroyer, the second Conan movie.
Makes sense.
Just barely
I do
by
have
about
one
5 points
request
each.
for you to look up, Kevin. Now, I know
Okay.
he didn't star in this movie, but he was a big part of it. Can you
Okay.
look up Batman and Robin?
I might have actually counted him starring in that because he was a
Oh.
leading villain.
Yeah.
Mr. Freeze,
Yeah,
the
might
worst
have-
Batman
I
villain
don't
in the worst Batman movie.
11%.
Yeesh.
It ties End of Days. It also just about ties End of Days and how much money it made.
What's
It made
that?
about $113 million.
It's got the Batman stamp. It's got the Schwarzenegger
Yeah.
stamp.
Really just
Yeah.
got the bat.
But then they put the Chris O'Donnell stamp on that, and it just started hemorrhaging money.
Eh.
Yeah, Chris O'Donnell and Alicia Silverstone.
That's
It
right.
was-
I always
yeah.
forget about Batgirl in that.
Yeah,
it
everyone
was.
does.
Because it's like at the very
And-
end of the movie, and nobody ever makes it through that far.
No.
Oh, speaking
I-
of Batman, before we're completely off the subject, so Zach just finished "Please Kill Me," and as he returned that copy that he got me so graciously, such a kick-ass book, he also gave me the novelization of Tim Burton's Batman.
What?
Yeah.
Which was given to me by my boss for some fucking reason.
It's like a pristine copy too, and it was like wrapped in cellophane, and I was just like, that's fucking awesome. I haven't read it yet, but it looks about like the length that it would take me to get through Tim Burton's Batman to actually read. It's very, very short. It has absolutely
Yeah.
zero notes about the author. It was basically just like a commissioned project by Warner Brothers or something. It just and the cover
Does-
of it looks like it's like a picture of Batman looking very irritated with the Joker behind him laughing as it looks like he's like tickling his butthole or something. I don't know.
Joker?
You ready for
Joker, get out of my butthole!
Yeah. Once-
You ever fuck the devil in the pale moonlight?
No, never touch another man's rhubarb. Then he shoots him.
Other
ever
mentions
fucked
of
the
low
In the book.
other mentions of low Rotten Tomatoes scores would have to go to Junior and Twins, which are
Oh, yeah.
about 10 above where they needed to make the low
I was
list.
really surprised that those weren't on the list for us to review. I thought for sure Junior would be
I
on
thought
there.
Junior
Yeah.
would make it.
Yeah.
I thought Junior would make
That's
it, but
the
it
one where
made
he's pregnant, right?
it made
Yep.
$50 million.
Yeah.
Yeah, for some reason, him and DeVito together was box office gold
Mm-hmm.
for a while. In that,
Twins made $200 million. It almost made the top list.
that is fucking insane. That movie made $200 million.
Yeah.
That is
That blew me away.
What a
It
hole.
blew me away that made that much money.
God.
I thought for sure that was going to be one of the ones that would make the bottom list.
It really came out
I
of nowhere.
watched that movie as a kid and hated it.
I was just watching Beetlejuice the other night. What a hole.
What a hole.
That was Beetlejuice, right?
Yes, and then later used
That
in
was
Home Alone
a-
2.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, when they fall through the giant hole in the building.
Okay.
Marsh's response.
No, it wasn't.
Wow,
It-
what a hole.
yeah.
What a hole.
God damn it. No, what, yeah, I was completely
Right.
off. You're right. It was Home Alone.
R-
Home
then
Alone
he
2.
slips into
Yes.
the paint can.
Yeah.
Yes.
Huh?
That's what we should have watched.
Yeah. Yeah, that we should have an episode where
I do a
Top-
Home Alone episode.
top 10 fucking John Hughes films.
No, man, I got it. I can make it simpler and better.
What?
Top 10 Home Alone pranks in Home Alone movies.
Dude,
Between
I like
three.
that.
I was gonna say like one of those slots would be completely devoted to Three Ninjas.
Oh god, yeah.
in that movie is basically just Home Alone. Actually, the box
Yeah.
actually says
Yeah.
It's as much fun as Home Alone and Ninja
It
Turtles.
is.
And it's the same fucking. It's
I also
Yeah.
Hulk Hogan was in one of them.
Which one?
Yeah, he. Oh
Hulk
yeah,
Hogan was in one of them.
High Noon at whatever.
Oh
the
yeah, it
fuck.
was like the third one,
At the
right?
theme park. It's at the
Yeah.
theme park. It was the third one.
God, speaking
Yeah,
of
that
the-
was.
sorry, go ahead.
How can we not go to a podcast without talking about Hulk Hogan? It's like,
Yeah, I don't,
always leads back to Hulk Hogan.
yeah. That's a real bummer to break it down that way.
Kinda.
It's the Mind Fucked by Hulk Hogan podcast. Always comes back to get us.
Speaking of the third movie in a franchise, theme parks, and just terrible movies in general, I also found at the video store Beverly Hills Cop 3.
Oh Lord,
I've only seen that movie fucking once. It is so fucking bad.
that's about half too many.
Yeah. I love the first two, but
All the first two are amazing.
yeah, no, they're really
should
good. I'm
drug-
glad you appreciate it. I remember, like, my birthday wasn't too long ago, and I went to the bar, and they're like, "Hey, what did you do for your birthday?" And I woke up super early. I made myself like pancakes. I watched Beverly Hills Cop, and I told them all this, and they're like, "You watched Beverly Hills Cop?" I'm like, "Are you kidding me?" I'm like, "It's, you know, it's just one of those movies to me. It's like Home
One of
Alone.
Murphy's best movies.
It's like Home Alone to like '90s kids. It's just like, oh, of course you love Home Alone, of course. But Beverly Hills Cop, it's like one of those things I just kind of grew up on. And anyways, many years of loving these two movies, and then seeing the third one, I was just so fucking heartbroken. I could
Yeah.
not fucking believe it.
Yeah.
Sorry,
It's like seeing the third Home Alone movie.
I have the third Home Alone movie. In fact, I don't
I'm
have a
sorry.
box for it. It's just got a really sad face, like drawn on it, and it just says Home Alone 3.
Oh,
No.
yeah.
Yeah. I'll never get rid of it. It's so fucking bad. It's such an oddity. And I believe it's like one of, if not Scarlett Johansson's first movies.
Ugh.
She was
Oh,
Oh,
fuck,
yeah.
I forgot she was in that.
I
She
forgot
was a
about that
sister.
too.
Yeah, I totally blanked that movie out of my mind.
Yeah, I should work at like a fucking
Yeah,
video
no one
store
blames you.
when I'm like older. Just be like, oh, you're picking up Home Alone 3, huh? No, it's Scarlett Johansson's first movie, huh? It was a pretty good one. It was pretty good, you know.
Yeah.
I give it like 5 out of 10 Kokens.
Be like total
I
record
would
store
get-
guy.
Yeah.
No. 3 wasn't that good. I'd only give it 4 out of 11 dead Jane Lynches.
We'll pick it back up at the top ones on the next podcast.
Yep.
Sounds good.
That works for me.
I'm going to watch Josie and the Pussycats next
Yeah.
week
Next week.
on Drinks on the House.
We'll be back. Got it at the end.
See you at the party,
did it.
Victor.
Yeah, fuck it. I don't even feel like doing vlogs after that.
Fuck
Yeah.
it.
No need.
We gotta get that fucking thing.
What?
I don't know.
We gotta get that fucking thing.
Yeah, the fucking thing, right?
Gotta get that fucking thing.
Where is my chopper?
Get to the chopper.
It's not the tumor.
Put that cookie down.
Actually, after all you guys just saying that shit, all I can think of is Rainer Wolfcastle just, the goggles, they do nothing.
They do nothing.
Do nothing.
It's probably the best thing Arnold Schwarzenegger's ever done is inspired Rainer Wolfcastle.
Yeah.
Actually, right before we were
Right.
recording, I just watched Mountain of Madness,
Nice.
the episode where Homer climbs the murder home
Mortar
and starts working out with Rainer Castle.
Yeah. Oh, and he's got those like power bars
Yeah,
made
power
of
sauce
like
bars.
yeah, they're like made of apples or apple cores or some shit.
Chinese newspapers and apple cores.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love when like the what is it called, the mountain climbers, the
Sherpas.
the Sherpas, when they're like, when he's like, oh, I don't need you guys anymore, and they just like fucking like
Let's start cartwheeling.
yeah, like
down the
cartwheel
mountain.
down the fucking mountain. Like, culture.
Well, for all of us at Drinks in the House, I think that'll do it for us tonight.
Yeah.
My name is Zach Kowalski. You can find me on Twitter at Zach Kowalski. And you can follow us at Drink on the Hoose. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube page.
Like, turn on notifications.
Yeah, social media words.
Yeah.
But seriously, it really helps us out. And if you can share to any of your friends, like wacky shit and drunken shenanigans, and Jane Lynch being dead,
Yeah.
just give us a share.
Yeah, I was literally just posting Arnold Schwarzenegger gifs until we recorded this
Oh, I saw.
on Twitter. I'm of course Kevin Alice. You can follow me on Twitter at Atlas Vindicator. I also run a stream over on Twitch, drinking_buddies, and sometimes I also stream from my own personal channel, which is Last Vindicator as well. We also have a YouTube page, which is Drinking Buddies. I've been trying to load up more things to it because it was a barren wasteland for a while. And that's just all the streams if you miss them. And yeah, that's basically my plugs. Oh, Instagram, Kevin_Alice.
I don't have any plugs. I'm still Andy. Just do the shit that Zach and Kevin said.
Send him
He's still
insurance
hiding
quotes.
it.
Yeah. If you could like talk to like the MetLife guy for me, if anyone out there works for like MetLife and can give me like a sick discount on my auto insurance, that'd be great.
Big Pop Pumps got your hookup.
Yeah, but like, Jesus Christ. Otherwise, just follow Zach and Josh and Kevin and the aforementioned things. I'm gonna stop talking. Josh, please go. I need insurance.
Stunning.
I literally forgot what I was gonna say. So, have a nice night. Have a power sauce bar on me.
Spire stars.
And have a drink on us. Cheers.